Good day. This is the Concentric Home Solution Woodworking channel. My name is Michael St. Amy, and in this video, I will be giving you a story about a stick from Woodpecker. If you like this video and you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a like and a comment. If you're a regular, as usual, I appreciate you. See you on the other side. As I stated in the intro, today, some Big Red is our favorite US-based manufacturer, Woodpecker. You see one of their saddle squares here, but this is not about a saddle square today. This is about the story stick. The story stick is a very, very cool device in my opinion. It saves you from making multiple measurements on a project, especially for cabinetry. If you want to locate styles or anything like that, people will cut a piece of scrap to use it as a gauge. Well, you don't have to do that with this. You make a measurement and you can set these inserts at different location. And the tool measures in both imperial and metric. So you have both flavors. A lot of people who use Festool like to use the metric. My preference is for imperial. It's actually very simple in its design and it's very ingenious. The thing that makes it work as compared, trying to do this with something else, don't want to move that. This is already calibrated. You'll see why. Is when you put it into the track, the mating piece on the, this looks like Lexan or plexiglass, which I think is all the same thing, is tapered. So it's self-centering and it keeps it square. And believe me, this thing is square. I verified it. The only thing that was a little bit off, and I think is the material that it's made out of, is the hook part that you will use to go on the end of a piece of material. It's off a little bit by like a 64th. And for me, it is not much of a big deal because I do think that it's too small, and I intend, more likely on a CNC machine for accuracy, I intend to make a larger one. Based on the same idea, I'm gonna try to mimic the parameters, but I'm gonna make it larger. So you have more registration. Basically, it'd be more like the T-square that I've shown before. So that's the idea. But besides that, every one of these, this is a caliper head. You can take a measurement of the interior of a space, and then you can go and you could transfer it to your table saw. Being honest and straightforward with you, I have never used it in that way, and I probably will never use it that way. But you can use it that way to transfer information from something that you want to cut something for to a table saw and make that cut. So it's very neat. I mostly use it just for measuring. This offset one is so that you can get, let me do it on another piece. I don't want to mess with that one because I have this one here calibrated for something I'm going to show you. And by the way, you see it in 3 sections. They all go together, and I will demonstrate that. They all go together to give you up to 8 feet. So this thing is very versatile in its usage. I like these little thumb screws with the knurlings that they use. Again, all of them, it has a registration piece that is tapered, so it's self-centering. When you have one like this, and you're trying to transfer a measurement, you see it goes right down to the workpiece. You could put your mark. Or if you have a mark on one side and you need to do a mark on another side, that's neat. The other little clever thing that they did is, if you notice, there's a little cutout, a little half moon. So you can precisely align your mark. I really like that. Now, I said before, you can join them. I'm gonna join two of them right now. Comes in different sections. I'm gonna start with 1 inch. The 1 inch ends at 32. The next one picks up at 33. Like this, you put them end to end. You flip it over. It's American made, so everything is imperial. Let me show you one. All aluminum, and it's the same idea too. It's tapered, so it's self-centering, and it keeps everything in alignment. It's kind of like the TSO rail guide connectors. Similar idea. The shoulder is tapered. So go ahead and loosen these. And as usual, we like to offset it just a little bit. Make it kind of easy to find our spot. There we go. Now we loosen it. Match it in the center a little bit. These are cut square. I checked it. So that's why I'm buttoning them together. On the guide rails, they're not cut square. These are together now. And they're pretty flat. Says a lot about the precision, the quality. So right now I have a section here that goes from 1 inch to 64 inches. And then I can add another section for the total of 96 inches. So it's in thirds. You can use it as a giant caliper, as I said earlier. Let's say this was a work piece I wanted to duplicate. And you can use it for inside measurement too. You use this side. And as I said, it's a scale. This is 1 inch thick, and it accounts for it on the readouts. Depending on where you're using it, it accounts for that 1 inch, which is also a brilliant idea. Now, I'm gonna show you guys something from last week. I mentioned about calibrating Seneca woodworking parallel guides, but I forgot to show you guys. I take one of these, I put it on, set it to the 0 mark. And again, it's very easy to do because you have this half moon cut out and you have the edge. So you could, I could split that line. Like that. And I want to say this is 29 inches is where I have it right now. So let's try something here. Get another one. Set it to 29 inches on this back side. This side is what's going to register to the 0 cut line on the rail. Set that to 29. I think it's 29. Let's see. Is to 29. So we're gonna try something here. Set that aside for now. Bring this reel up. Oh, and by the way, you can do narrow cuts with the Seneca Woodworking. I've never used it before. I was just playing with it. I wasn't very impressed. I will say there is a newer version of this setup on their website. In my case, once again, I got this when it was newer. So this may have been a first attempt. It would have been neat if this was exactly 10 inches. So basically, let's say 19 inches, I could have called that an inch. If you follow my logic, and I could have used this together with this to do narrow rips conveniently, but it's not that way. And it's two separate components. And you have no registrations. So you have to make sure you put this on square because it can skew your measurement. But once again, they have a newer setup. The newer setup seems to be a little bit more sophisticated. I can't speak to it. I don't own it. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that. Let me take this off for now so it's not in my way. Let's say I just got this. I just put in this tape, and you may not be able to see this on video. I might try to shoot it in a B-roll if I remember, but you can see my little dab of CA glue that I mentioned before. But without that dab of CA glue, and at the end, this whole thing, it's tight, but you can move it around. That's meant to be that way so you can calibrate it. What I can do now is raise this up. And then rest it against the zero cut. And now I'm sitting right on my calibration on this point right here. So if this wasn't already set, I could loosen it and push it up against it. For my 29 inch, and it's saying 29 inches right there. It's showing 29 inches right here. Lift it off of that. Do the same thing on this side. Make sure it's sitting square. And it is. Bring it up against it. Make sure if my rule needed to slide to 29 inches, I could slide it and make sure it's underneath there at 29 inches. And we're golden. And right there, that's an excellent use of the story stick for calibration. With this one, with the fin cut, with it not working very well with this system, I've come up with a clever way of measuring. If I ever decide to use it for narrow rips, I use something like this. If you look on the channel, I have had a review on this and similar devices, but I could set this up to 7 inches, whatever I wanted. And the same idea, I register off the face of this, and then I put this up to it, tighten it down, do the same thing on the other side. Both of them is perfectly the same size. So that's a quick little tip for the narrow cut. If you have the Seneca setup, or if you wanted to purchase the Seneca setup. But again, that's one way you can use it. You can use these things for setting up door slides. You can use it for setting up stiles and rails for face frames and so forth. It's a story stick. It's 8 feet tall. You can use it for setting up cabinets for a kitchen or something like that. It's very useful tool. I don't know if I would use, a premium product for the last one, but in the shop, this could save you a lot of work and save you from a lot of inaccuracy because you're not using a whole bunch of repeat measuring. You're measuring once and then you're carrying this around. Technically, you can carry this to the miter saw and set up the miter saw for a cut. And like any traditional story stick, you have multiples. And I think they sell these separately where you can get additional. It comes with 4 of each, but you can get additional. Use a little bit of painter's tape. You can, either stick on this directly or on this, and you can, put your little notes down. And you have a very good system. I personally like it. And you have control over the size. If you're working on something small, this is the section you're working with. 32 inches. Something a little bit bigger, I show you how you could join it together. Up to 8 feet. So basically, as I told you before, this one allows you to use it like a T-square. I did find, upon inspection, that it's not that square. Yeah, just a little bit of light. I would say it's about a 64th is off. But again, I plan to make my own solution. This is a little bit too small for me. I would like the idea of being able to use it as a T-square. So I can have it off the edge of take this off. Off the edge of a workpiece. So if I have, say, multiple of these, and I measured for one and I have multiple workpiece, I could put a workpiece, hook off of there, make my mark, remove it, go to the next workpiece, make my mark. Y'all get the idea. So you can have a whole production going. Maybe marking for dominoes, anything. You have up to 8 feet, you can do this. Remove the last piece, or if you have them stack, you can have them stack, mark, place aside, mark, place aside, mark, place aside, and with a story stick, production. And every one of them will be marked exactly the same. No more measuring tape. Every time you have to do a measurement and mark, you're introducing inaccuracies into your work. So that's why I like this. You take time, set it up once, off for one workpiece, and then it becomes production. That's it for today. I think we hit it all. The main thing was the story pole. Really like it. You can use it for marking. You can use it as a caliper. It has a caliper head. And it's very versatile. The only knock on it was this was a little tiny bit out of square and is a little bit too small. I wish it was a bigger head, or at least they had an option for a bigger head for a T-square. But other than that, it is awesome in my opinion. I'll leave information in the description so you could check it out if you're interested. As usual, be safe in the shop and have a good day. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to be notified when new content is dropped on this channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and drop a comment down below.